Good morning and welcome to the Return Homestead. My name is Mike and my wife Marty and I homestead 50 acres in southeastern Kentucky. Here in southeastern Kentucky, we've been kind of shut down for the last 3 or 4 days. So this storm that covered most of Kentucky has really hammered our area. We're up on the top of the ridge in our area, and we're on the east side of the ridge, which means as the storms approach the highest point in the area, they drop most of the snow right before the storm crosses the ridge. That means our property gets a little more snow than the guys on the other side of the street. And we got about 8 inches. And that was on top of the, 4 or 5 inches that we had from the previous storm. So taking care of the homestead has gotten complicated. There are no more tasks that need to be done than usual, well, except with cleaning the snow, but that kind of replaces cutting grass. We've still got a lot of work to do. Things are just a little bit harder to do right now. Getting out and getting the chickens fed and getting water into the chickens is not as easy as it was just a couple of weeks ago. So this last year we had a video out where I replaced this frost-free hydrant. And if you've never run a homestead before or never tried to water animals in the wintertime, you may wonder why anyone would spend the extra time to dig such a deep hole to install a frost-free hydrant. Now, if you have hydrants on the outside of your home and you've had snow or ice to the degree that we have, and you go out and turn on the faucet, it may or may not work. This faucet will continue to work regardless of what the temperature is out here, and that's why we install them. The only way the chickens are going to get water today is if I can get it out of the ground and get it up to them. One other task that has to be done every morning, we got to get the chickens fed. I've already got some feed up to the main flock, but we do have Marty's silkies that are in a separate coop, and those little silkies are refusing to come out. They don't like the snow at all. So I'm going to have to get some seed and grain up into their coop for them. So we just take a scoop of scratch up with us when we go up there. Beautiful morning out here this morning. Sunlight's just coming up onto the snow. Wow. It's cold, but at least for the first time in about a week, we have clear skies. So we'll get their door open here in a minute, but these guys have not come out since it started snowing. They just don't like the snow. They're a little different than the other chickens. They're much cleaner. They do seem to keep their coop much cleaner than the other chickens. I can even leave open water, and they do, throw bedding up into the water, but it's not as bad as the other chickens. If I had put this in the other coop, this bowl would have been buried somewhere under the bedding come morning. Let's see if we can get some food in here to these guys. And we also need some water. You've probably seen a lot of videos on homesteading sites about how to keep water from freezing up for your animals. I've found that all of those methods can work, but only to a certain extent. And eventually you need some way to get the ice out of the bowl or the water container. And so we've used these rubber bowls for the last couple of years, and yeah, they freeze up every night. but it's easy enough to put it on the ground, stomp the ice out of it. Looks like those two roosters have decided they need to get out for a bit. So we'll get their door open. Let me get this water into them first. So keeping the chickens fed has been a little bit difficult. I don't want to use the J-tubes right now because I can't see where they're at on the food. I want to make sure I know how much food is available to them throughout the day. This is just the food I'm putting out this morning. We'll feed them again again this evening. Same with the water. So they've got plenty of water, both in the bucket, and we also leave a little bit in a bowl over here. Those are those rubber bowls, so I can get the ice out of them. I'm not worried about those things freezing up. But it does mean I have to check water and get water out to the chickens twice a day as well. So twice a day on food, twice a day on water. And the reason they need that extra attention is they just don't go out in the yard. So we've had a few chickens that have wandered out into the snow, but they usually come right back. And they've been hanging out underneath the coop and inside the coop all day. So I'm going to get this door open and let these guys out, see if they maybe will go out and enjoy the sunshine for a little while. Yeah, they seem a little disappointed that there's still snow and ice on the ground. Not exactly the ideal conditions for homesteading. There's not a lot you can get done outside on a day like this. At least not with our current setup. Now we'll be working to develop the systems here on the Return Homestead that will allow us to continue to be perfectly functional even in these conditions. And right now we're only moderately inconvenienced by this. And it's small things, little things like where I parked my truck last time I came home. And we leave it up at the top of the hill in case this bit of hillside decides to freeze up on us. That driveway is not exactly passable at the moment, but it is a lot of snow to move off of it. The real problem is if this becomes a sheet of ice, you could easily slide onto the next slope, which continues down to the bottom and then off the cliff. So we want to make sure that if I'm running the truck up or down this driveway, we have some reasonable expectation of being able to stop it from going downhill. So I'm going to get the bottom section of the driveway cleared off. Just going to shovel the snow off of it and then get some salt on it. See if this sunlight can get it cleared up for me. My objective was not to get all the snow off of the driveway, obviously. I could shovel that whole driveway and, well, it might be efficacious. It might be a good idea to shovel this driveway to keep it clear. But that looks like about 6 hours worth of work to get that cleared. And if I give it 12 hours under the sun, it'll probably clear itself. So I think this is going to be good enough. What I wanted to do was make sure that I had a landing pad where I had some concrete exposed to keep me from going on down the hill and off the cliff. And I wanted a way to be able to get the truck back up into the barn. It's always best if you can protect the vehicle from the storm in the first place. And we've got plenty of room in the barn to keep the truck under cover. But at the very least, I should now be able to get this guy down the hill. So the snow and ice will test a couple of things. It'll test your resolve, obviously, to be out and about dealing with property issues when there's this much snow on the ground. It tests the rabbits' resolve. You see their tracks here, just hopping around through the snow as best they can, trying to find some feed. And then we got these other tracks over here. See, snow is really good for revealing your neighbors. You get to see all of your neighbors that walk through your lawn. And it's this set of tracks that's the most interesting. This appears to be a deer walking through. It's hard to see the cloven hoof print at the bottom of these holes, but it's pretty obvious this is a deer track. And he went out across the driveway there. And it looks like there may have been a deer that walked up this way. Oh, actually, no, those well-defined footprints are mine. Can you tell from this track? You see that little U shape at the back of the hole in the snow there? I was trying to find a place where his toe dug in. Sometimes easier to see where his two toes went in. That track you can pretty well tell. So the deer will be wandering through here as well as the rabbits, and of course as well as the homesteader. You got my footprints running through here too. And after about 2 hours worth of work, we've got all the chickens fed and watered. Everybody's turned out. We've got the snow cleared off of the bottom of the driveway, so we'll be able to stop the truck on its way down the hill. I have some confidence of being able to get the truck down the hill now. Marty and I really don't have any big plans here on the homestead today. There's not a lot we can do. We didn't get lumber or doors or any of the products we need to continue working in the kitchen. So we're kind of stuck right now. There's not a whole lot we can get done, but we're going to manage and maintain the property, keep this snow cleared up as best we can. And we do have a few errands to run in town. There are a few items that are getting a little short supply in the refrigerator, namely things like half and half. I do enjoy some half and half in my tea in the morning, so we're going to go out and find some half and half and some other simple products that we're running short on. Eggs we're doing just fine on. We got 6 eggs out of the chickens yesterday. If you've priced eggs in the grocery store recently, you know what the value of those 6 eggs is. And when we get 6 eggs every single day, then you begin to understand the value of spending the extra 45 minutes to an hour each day taking care of those chickens. It's worth the effort. We do appreciate you joining us on the Return Homestead today. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please take a moment to do so. While you've got that window open, hit that thumbs up icon. That's going to let the algorithm know you enjoyed the video, and they'll share it out with more people. We'll see you next time.